Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Flemington Racecourse here on Tuesday. It is the 6th of November 2023. It's Melbourne Cup Day from Flemington, and I'm going to look at the Melbourne Cup. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the featured 7th race, which is the Group 1 Melbourne Cup. It's going for a purse of $5.3 million. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 24 horses are staying the distance of ground of 3,200 meters or 2 miles over the turf course. My top selection here, I like the 7-horse Absurd. I'm going to go 7, 9, 6 in the trifecta. That's my top 3. Tell you the truth, any of these 3 horses can win, so I'm going to use them all and win exacta quaddy pick 4 situations, but the top 3 from this race would be 7, 9, 6 for me. But the top selection is the French bred, the 7-horse Absurd. This 5-year-old gelding by Fascinate Rock. Willie Mullins trains one in Ireland. Zach Purton comes in to ride this one. The horse's most recent outing came to the UK at York on the 26th of August. Very fast ground, a mile 3/4 in a Class 2 handicap, and the horse won that day by a half a length. And he had a lot of ground to gain that day. He sat back early, slowly moved his way into it, but when he had the turn of foot, he took off clear. That was a very good run. Going to see a ground with a little bit slight more give in it, but has drawn well, has a good weight of 117 pounds. I think he could stay for days, and I think he could get the job done here today. 2 back, he ran at Galway in Ireland, 1st of August, 2 miles and a 16th there. Over the hurdles, and he finished 6 by 9 3/4 lengths that day. And he jumped well until the end of the race, and he had a few mistakes. But he was staying the trip well. They probably wanted to get a race under his belt for the season. And, not a bad race there. And then a Royal Ascot on a Class 2 handicap over the mile 3/4 the 20th of June. He finished second by 7.5 lengths that day. The winner was much the best of Vauban, but this horse again, he was gaining that day over a trip, probably a little bit too short for him. And then prior to at Killarney in Ireland, off the nearly year freshening 2.5 miles in a novice hurdle, he won by 3.5 lengths that day, and he did everything right. He's proven he can run over the flat. He's just not winning until recently over the flat at York, but coming here to face handicap horses, he should definitely stay for day. Has a good should definitely handle the going. I think at 22 to 1, he's has a very strong chance of winning here. I think the 9-horse, the Old Man, Vow and Declare, could also get the job done here. This 8-year-old gelding by Declaration of War. Danny O'Brien trains. Billy Egan gets on this one. We all know what he did a few seasons ago, but and his form kind of fell off last season, but this year he's really becoming a better horse, and I think he's sitting on that good run. The only thing with him today is he's gonna have to overcome the 19 post barrier draw. But most recently, last week in the Moonee Valley Gold Cup over at Moonee Valley, 27th of October, he finished second by a half a length that day, and he had a lot of ground to gain that day, but he was really gaining late. He just missed. He ran his heart out. Getting the extra 4 furlongs or 800 meters off the last run shouldn't be a problem. Again, he's going to have to overcome a wide poster, but I think his form's been uphill, and I think he's sitting on that good run, and I think he'll get an incredible price with him here at 25 to 1 stateside. 2 back, he ran a Caulfield in the local Group 1 there on the 14th of October for the 2,000 meters on the mile and a quarter, and he finished second by 2 lengths. And again, at 67 to 1 that day, nobody thought he was going to win, but again, he sat back mid-pack most of the race. He slowly moved his way into it. He just missed late, but he ran his heart out that day, and then seasonal reappearance at Caulfield and the Underwood Stakes, a race over too short of a trip, over the 1,800 or the mile and 8 trip. He finished 10th by 4.5 lengths that they never really got going. He desperately needed the race. Also, he's just not that kind of horse that's going to run over a mile furlong. He wants to get 2 miles like he's getting today, or the 3,200 meter journey. And then his last race locally came in the Andrew Rumsen Stakes, the listed race here over the 13th of May, where he finished 10th by 13.5 lengths that day. Like I said, his form last year just went backwards towards the end of the spring, and he just never really got comfortable there. He had a disappointing race at Rose Hill prior to that, he just never really got into it. But the race he won a year ago in that Group 2 at Caulfield over the mile and a half wasn't bad at all. Gonna have to overcome a wide posture, but it wouldn't surprise me to see this horse running late. A definite horse using her trifectas and exactas, or forecast and tricast. We also used a 6-horse Solcombe, this 4-year-old gelding by Frankel. Chris Waller trains. João Moreira's on this one. Most recently, they ran the horse, if I could get my iPad to load. Most recently, they ran the horse at Caulfield in the Group 1 here on the 21st of October, and he finished seventh by 5.5 lengths that day. He had a lot of ground to gain that day, but he didn't run half bad, but he still needs something more. He's going to get a better poster here today off that last run, and I think he's just sitting on a better race than he was last time out in the Caulfield Cup. Two back in the Turnbull locally on the 7th of October over 2,000 meters on the mile and a quarter. He finished third by 2.5 lengths. Again, he's a bit of a deep closer. He slowly moved his way into the race. He looked like he was loaded late, but just a little bit too late. But he stayed the trip well. And then at Caulfield prior to that in the Underwood Stakes, he finished fourth by 1.5 lengths and totally closed up from nowhere, like Trevor Denman would say at Santino, closing up like an express train, just a little bit too late. But he ran his heart out that day at 7.5 to 1. He hasn't seen the winner's circle since Caulfield in early September. That came in the in just a listed race where he won by a half a length. Basically, need a race under his belt, and they got the job done. He's done decently locally. He ran here in March in a listed race and over the mile 5/8 or the 2,600 meter journey, and he finished second by 2 3/4 lengths that day, closing up from nowhere. He got around the race course well via the counterclockwise course, which I think is very good with this one. He's been running around the clockwise courses as of recently also, which I just don't think he likes. I think he likes going around the left-handed bend. He's going to get it today. He's definitely been on the improve. It's a good poster. At 8.5 to 1, I'm going to use him on the ticket here in this very wide open Melbourne Cup. But to recap my selection for the 7 from Flemington, it's the Group 1 Melbourne Cup. As a top selection, I'm going to take the 7 horse Absurd. We'll give kudos to the 9 horse Vow and Declare and the 6 horse Soulcomb. 796 trifecta. Use all 3 of them in the pick 4 or the quad pot here. It's a very wide open race, so I think any of these 3 horses have a live chance of winning. But with that being said, good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter or X at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Good luck.